for joining us in our daily learning of the book of Mishlei Proverbs. We are up to chapter 17, and we are up to verse 25. We're here every day between 12 to 12:20. We are live, and you can watch it later. We appreciate you being here. Any comments, feedback, thoughts are always welcome. Please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section, and I will most definitely do my best to respond. We are here, chapter 17, verse 25. King Solomon says, Kas le'aviv ben ksil, a foolish son causes anguish to his father. Umemer le'oladeto. However, in the case of a mother, that it has to be someone who's really violating all norms. So the father, even if the child is someone not smart, gets upset. And the mother, really, it takes a lot to get a mother upset. There's a very famous saying that says, success has many fathers, failure is an orphan. So the second the child isn't very smart, then the father already is discontent. However, memer le'oladeto has to be also something that is more serious to disappoint the mother. And Rashi explains this is also talking about someone who is in their relationship for God, they are rebellious. So if someone is rebelling against God, that causes God discontent, his father. And his mother, which is referring to his people, get also a discontent from that. Verse 26, it is not good to punish a righteous person. Now, you think, obviously, it's not good to punish a righteous person. Why does the verse need to say it's not good to punish a righteous person? So Rashi, Rabbi Shlomo explains that what it's saying is that sometimes you have an entire community that sins, and God is not going to punish them because some of them don't deserve the punishment. And so by virtue of the good people, like in the story of Sodom, by virtue of the good people being good, that in and of itself causes God to have mercy on everyone. So it's not good to punish the righteous, and that saves already everyone else. It is not good to punish the generous and the righteous ones. That's not appropriate for a good person. And it's a lesson for us. Sometimes you see a group of people that have done something bad, but among them there are righteous. Remember, it's not okay to punish the righteous. Collective punishment is not acceptable. Verse 27, if someone is sparing with their words, they don't talk a lot, that person must be smart, they must be wise. And someone who has a cool spirit, a precious spirit, and they don't speak much, that is a wise person. So again, it's an indication of how wise it is sometimes not to say anything, not to say everything that comes to mind. And the next verse is actually a famous saying. The next verse goes as follows: Gam evil macharish chacham yechashev. Even a foolish person who is silent, even a foolish person that does not talk, will be considered wise. Gam evil macharish chacham yechashev. Even a foolish person will be considered wise. And someone who closes his mouth, someone who doesn't talk, is often going to be considered a wise person. So it's just a powerful lesson. Sometimes it's better to say nothing than to say something, because once a person opens their mouth, often people say, oh, they're not so smart, they don't know what they're talking about. If a person is quiet, they always at least have the benefit of the doubt, and you can assume they're smart. We now go on to chapter 18. We're in Proverbs, Mishlei chapter 18. And it is the importance of unity. And it says as follows: L'ta'ava yevakesh nifrat. Someone who is selfish and greedy and self-serving, they will always seek to separate themselves. You see this sometimes in politics from the level of synagogue and city and just everything. You see the most selfish person is the one that's willing to say, oh, I'm going to you know what, I'm not getting my way in this meeting, I'm going to start my own thing. I'm not getting my way here, I'm going to start my own thing. The person who is selfish always goes and separates. And then it says, B'chol tushia itgala, and he will be found in among the wise his shame. So everyone's going to know their shame by them separating. And the rabbis say this is talking about Lot, the nephew of Abraham. The nephew of Abraham said, you know what? We cannot be together. Abraham and me, we can't be together. And he separated and went off to Sodom. And the idea is, again, people who are selfless are able to unify. People who are not selfless, people who are selfish, often seek their own path. They often seek their own direction. Verse 2 is also very, very, very true. You ever have an argument or discussion with a person, they ask you a question, and then they don't wait for your answer. They just go on with what they have to say. A lot. And so the verse says as follows, Lo yachpotz ksil betvuna. The foolish person is not looking for wisdom. They're not looking for anything wise. Rather, they are looking to expose their own heart, meaning they're asking a question, but really all they want to do is share what's in their own heart. All they seek is to expose themselves. Next is verse 3, when a wicked person comes, also shame comes. Sin eventually leads to shame. And with this denigration comes even a greater denigration. Someone who chooses shameful things, that leads to all the more shameful consequences. And now we come to really a beautiful verse. You have to imagine a stream of water. You have to imagine, a brook in the forest. And it says as follows, a person's words are like deep water. Words are like a flowing stream of water. And then it says, Nachal novea mekor chokhmah. It is a stream, an independent stream filled with water. That is the source of wisdom. When you speak, it is like a source of water, because often when a person speaks, that those words carry on. You ever see someone say something and those words carry on, they inspire others, they go from one place to another place, and if it's good words, they actually create life. And so what King Solomon is saying is your words generate like a brook of water, fresh water. He's saying, Nachal novea mekor chokhmah. Your words are like a spring of water. I don't know, you guys can let me know in the comments if you know what this means, but some waterfalls and some water sources they generate from themselves. Sometimes it's just water from a mountain, from another stream, but the some water sources are just self-sufficient. They come from themselves. And so next is Nachal novea mekor chokhmah. Next, se'et pnei rasha lo tov. It is not good to favor or to show grace to the wicked one. And that is not only going to cause, if you favor a wicked person in judgment, if you favor a wicked person as a judge, not only will you not lead yourself to help someone, but rather lehatot tzadik b'mishpat. If you distort judgment in order to favor the wicked, you will ultimately lead yourself also to distort judgment to convict the righteous. So se'et pnei rasha lo tov. It's not good to favor the wicked. And if you favor the wicked, lehatot tzadik b'mishpat, it will lead to causing distortion in the judgment of the righteous. You'll end up distorting the judgment of the righteous. Next is verse 6. We're in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 6. Siftei ksil yavo beriv. The foolish one's lips come in a matter of conflict, meaning when someone is foolish, they come and they immediately begin with conflict. Everything that they say is leading towards a direction of division and conflict. Siftei ksil yavo beriv. The mouth of the wicked will come with a fight. Upiv lemalumot ikra, and his mouth will call out for fights, for conflict. Next is this happens so many times. You see someone who is wicked, and eventually they are the ones who trick themselves. Siftei ksil mechitalo. The mouth of the foolish is like a trap to himself, because he's the one who ends up trapping himself. Uspatav mokesh nafsho, and his own lips are the stumbling block for his own soul. Next is really so powerful. There's a saying: "Sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me," which is obviously not true, because sometimes names can hurt so much more than sticks and stones. Sticks and stones break bones, and those can recover in a few weeks. But names really stick with people for life and can hurt people for life. And so even though the words of the foolish are they're not necessarily intelligent, they just generate conflict, nonetheless, they cause tremendous damage. This is verse 8, chapter 18, verse 8. Divrei nirgan kemitlahamim. The words of the bully, the words of the person who's always looking for fights, kemitlahamim. It's always anything that a bully says is comes out in a fashion of conflict. Vehem yardu chadrei bat. But it goes into the stomach. When a wicked person, when a bully says something, and it's a name calling, it's something that's meant to hurt, it really yored chadrei bat, and it goes into the stomach. It really can hurt. And it goes really down deep. So you have to be very, very careful. Verse 9, this is really just such a beautiful pasuk. Gam mitrape b'mlachto ach hu lebal mashchit. A person who is lax in their work. It's not that they're not doing their work. They're lazy. They are negligent. They're not doing great work. You think, okay, they're just doing work minus. They're not causing any great harm. Someone who is lax in their work, someone who is negligent in their work, he is a brother to the one who causes outright destruction. So don't think that if you're just you're saying, oh well, I'm gonna be, I'll just be a bit lax in my work, I'm not gonna cause anyone harm. Imagine if a surgeon said, I'm gonna be a bit loose on those stitches, I'm gonna be loose on this, I'm gonna be loose on that. That is the same or even worse than someone that is outright damaging, outright causing conflict. That person is a brother for someone who causes conflict. Verse 10, Migdal oz shem Hashem, bo yarutz tzadik v'nisgav. God's name is like a tower of strength. It's a tower of, it's a bastion of strength. And also when a person is in a tower is used to be where people went to jail. When someone would go to jail, they would put them in a tower. And so even if you run inside of the tower, that's where you are. You're not changing location. So Migdal Oz Shem Hashem, God's name is like a tower. God's name is like a strong tower. There's two explanations. Either it means God's name is like a strong tower, meaning you can always rely on it to protect you, or it means you're always in it. If you are in God's tower, you're always protected. So no matter where you go, the righteous one is with God. Now, verse 11. Hon ashir kiryat uzo b'maskito. The wealth of the wealthy is like his wall, and the kechoman is gaba b'maskito, and it is like a wall that protects his fortress, because there are, hello to everyone who's joining us. We're in Mishlei Proverbs chapter 18, verse 11. So the wealth of the wealthy is the source of his strength, and it is like a wall around him. Now, the point is that the wealthy uses his own wealth to protect his wealth. And now we go to verse 12. Before the downfall, the heart of someone gets arrogant. And before someone gets great honor, that is when they are most humble. That was Mishlei for today. If you have any questions, comments, please feel free to comment. Please feel free to let me know. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for being here. B'ezrat Hashem, it should be a good day, a safe day for everyone. And B'sorot Tovot, stay safe in the weather.